What up? What up? What up? Welcome to the Live Game episode 129. This is the average man's perspective on football. I'm your co-host Marcus. Joining me on the panel tonight is Herman. Say what up, Herman.
Hey.
You are a hater.
There's gonna be a lot of hate in this episode. I can tell you right now.
Could you change that to say you are an Eagles hater? That would be better.
Next up, we got Brian. Say what up, Brian.
Thank you for joining us.
I'm the one selling the records. They coming to see me. They coming to see the Temptations. Ain't nobody
Coming to see you, Otis. And last but never least, we got Mark. Say what up, Mark.
Good evening.
And me, I'm 56 years old.
Damn.
I'm sorry.
So, football season in the bag. We had Super Bowl 57 this past Sunday. Good game. No more football for 7 months. Unless you count XFL and USFL. But we don't really count that. We'll be watching it, but don't really count it. Herman's hosting the show tonight. Go ahead and start us off, Herman.
All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us for our last show of the season. Had a good Super Bowl. We're going to get into that, but we're going to start off with our news topics. So I'm going to throw the news back to Marcus. Why don't you hit the first news topic, Marcus?
According to Fox Sports, Super Bowl 57 drew an average viewership of 113 million, making Kansas City's win the third most watched television show of all time and the best Super Bowl audience since the New England Patriots' historic comeback win in Super Bowl. Oh, Lord, I should look that up. I think that was like 50. I don't know. Whatever. 2017. It gets the final. So final viewership data will be available on Tuesday.
All right.
These damn Roman numerals.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and take the next story. Continuing to reshape their offensive coaching staff, the New York Jets have hired former Tennessee Titan offensive coordinator Todd Downing as their pass game coordinator, a source confirmed on Monday. Downing, who was fired after the season, has ties to two quarterbacks who might be potential offseason targets for the Jets: the Titans' Ryan Tannehill and the Las Vegas Raiders' Derek Carr.
Who is now a free agent.
Yes, who is now a free agent. So I'm going to throw to the
continue.
Yes, very interesting. Brian, hit us with your next news story.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the final power rankings have been released. We'll go from 10 to 1. Number 10 is the Vikings. Number 9 is the Lions. Number 8 is the Chargers. Number 7 is the Jaguars. 6 is disputable. It's the Cowboys. Number 5 is the Bills. 4 is the Niners. 3 is the Bengals. 2 is the Bengals. And 2 is the Eagles. Because, they lost the Super Bowl. And number 1 is the Kansas City Chiefs. Pretty good. Not too bad.
The Chargers should be dropping out of that.
Yeah.
You just got that.
Chargers. I think I take the Lions out of it.
I know. I think it's kind of crazy that the Lions are above the Vikings.
They won like 8 straight, right? At the
They
end
won
of the season, I think.
They won 8 out of the last 10.
Yeah, something like that.
I know they didn't make the playoffs.
It is interesting, though, that they didn't. I mean, yeah. They just disrespecting the Vikings all over again.
Yeah.
All right, Mark, go ahead and hit us with the last news story.
In days since losing the Super Bowl, the Eagles have now lost both of their coordinators. The Cardinals are hiring Eagles defensive coordinator Jonathan Gannon as their head coach. The Indianapolis Colts announced Tuesday that they're hired Shane Scatton, offensive coordinator of the Eagles, as their new head coach. So they lost both of their offensive and defensive coordinators, and Eric Bieniemy can't get a job. Huh?
That defensive coordinator position, that dude, he was only been a defensive coordinator, I think 1 year or maybe 2 years the most, and most of his career has been like a quality control dude.
Defensive back coach, quality control coach. They only have 1 year of being a coordinator. Correct.
And the offensive dude, how long has he been a coordinator? Like
2 years.
No, think about this. When Herbert came to the league, he was Herbert's quarterback coach out there. So he helped develop Justin Herbert out there in San Diego. He's a good coach. He is. He's creative. He's very creative.
It's just weird they hired a defensive dude for the Cardinals when you need somebody to come in there and handle Kyler Murray. They better hire a good OC. Otherwise, it's going to suck.
That's the key.
All right, so those are our news stories for the week.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
That's why I paused, because I knew he was going to do it. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and get into this Super Bowl game. We're flipping it up a little bit. We're going to do things a little different this week. We're going to go ahead and talk about the game, and then we'll discuss some things after the game. So
I don't want to talk about the Super Bowl.
we're going to talk about this Super Bowl.
Yeah, this was a good Super Bowl.
You're on the wrong show, sir.
Nah. But we had this was a good Super Bowl. The Chiefs won this one 38-35. Patrick Mahomes was 21 for 27, 182 yards passing. He threw for 3 touchdowns. He was sacked 0 times. On the flip side, Jalen Hurts was 27 for 38, 304 yards passing with 1 touchdown, and he was sacked 2 times. And then Hurts also had 3 quarterback sneaks for touchdowns. I'm not going to call them rushing touchdowns because those were just quarterback sneaks for touchdowns.
Still kind of rushing touchdown.
Whatever.
It's
a quarterback sneak,
which is a rushing play.
See, I messed myself all up. I was supposed to go with the Chiefs side first. I was just waiting to hate on them. Okay, sorry. Isaiah Pacheco, 15 carries, 76 yards, 1 touchdown. Travis Kelce was kind of held in check, 6 catches, 81 yards, 1 touchdown. And Juju Smith, got to give him some props for Mark's sake. 7 receptions for 53 yards. Now on the flip side, the Eagles, I already gave you Jalen Hurts passing stats. He was the rushing leader, 15 carries, 70 yards, and 3 quarterback sneaks for a touchdown. Devontae Smith, 7 receptions, 100 yards. A.J. Brown, 6 receptions for 96 yards, 1 touchdown. Let's get into it. We all picked we all picked the Chiefs on this one. We were Marcus, what did you think about the game?
I thought it was a very good game. Very good game. I was very worried about the Chiefs going into halftime. It looked like they couldn't stop the Eagles at all on offense, except for that one fumble that Jalen Hurts had, and then of course Mahomes got hurt. But had nothing to worry about. They came back in the second half. They scored on every drive in the second half, and they just pretty much just ran up and down the field. I think the biggest takeaway from this game is, and I hate to give you two haters credit, Brian Herman, but the Eagles defense is garbage. They didn't play anybody. They got seriously exposed. You guys are right. Who they played was some garbage. I think that I heard this week they only played like 2 or 3 quarterbacks that actually made the Pro Bowl. And the fact that my Commanders was able to go in there and score so many points, and that you guys, the Cowboys, go in there and score so many points, proved it. They, for all them set, they had the 3rd highest, I think, ever. The team had the third highest ever sack total for a season, and not one sack. Didn't touch it. If you look at Patrick Mahomes' jersey at the end of the game, it's clean, totally white, nothing there. Nothing at all. And that also makes me wonder how the defensive coordinator they got hired to be the Cardinals head coach, because that defense sucked. It's amazing to me how they were able to fool everybody the whole season, because they got exposed. And it just that was the biggest takeaway. And you know, all the Eagles fans or whoever want to complain about that hold at the end, it was a hold. Dude even admitted it was a hold. And if you're as good as you say you are, it shouldn't even come down to that anyway. You know, I don't know why they couldn't just watch the tape of the Tampa Bay Kansas City Super Bowl a couple seasons ago and just do what they did on defense. I mean, that defense totally dominated the Chiefs. But biggest takeaway from this game is the Eagles was I will say the Eagles defense was suspect. I will say this garbage I said last week or 2 weeks ago about Trey Lance being better than Jalen Hurts. The only reason they were even in this game is because of Jalen Hurts. He was basically the entire team. He was the only reason, because special teams let him down with that long punt return. Defense was sorry. It was only Jalen Hurts that is the only reason they were in that game. And you can't tell me that Trey Lance is better than Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is now, at least at this moment, the top 5 quarterback in the league, hands down. Best quarterback in the NFC East, better than Dak. And he's the only reason they were in the game. If it wasn't, and I feel like if it wasn't for that fumble, they might have won that game. They might
The fumble that he had on his own.
Yeah.
The fumble that nobody calls that he fumbled on his own.
Yes, his own fumble.
Okay.
His own
nobody's talking
fumble.
about.
But you can say what you want. The only reason the Eagles were in that game, the only reason this game was 38-35 is because of Jalen Hurts. So kill me with that Trey Lance is better than Jalen Hurts crap, because it's totally not true. Those are my 2 takeaways. Defense sucks. Jalen Hurts is the bomb.
All right, Mark, what you got?
Much like Marcus said, I thought that Kansas City may be in trouble going the second half, especially when Mahomes limped off the field like he did. But they all year long, man, they've been a second half team as far as adjustments. They did it. I was kind of a little bit surprised that Philly didn't really run the ball with Miles Sanders much. I thought that was a little kind of crazy that they didn't attempt to run him that much. But the Kansas City offensive line took it personal about how well Philadelphia's defensive front was, and they just bust them in the mouth. Not allowing Mahomes to get no sacks or get sacked the whole time. The only time he got touched was when he ran out the pocket. But I thought it was a great Super Bowl. The other thing Marcus had touched on, hey Marcus, the only thing Jalen Hurts didn't do, he needed to do was play defensive back so he could stop some of the wide receivers. That's the only thing he didn't need. That's the only thing he didn't do in the Super Bowl. That probably would have gave him the win. But I thought it was competitive. I did enjoy it. The field was trash. Oh my God. I cannot imagine they had that much time to get that field in order, but it was trash. This may be the last Super Bowl you see in Arizona with that stadium.
At least with that grass.
With that grass, right. The other thing I took from it was you talked about Bradbury. He admitted to holding him after the game. That took a lot of guts to admit that, but he said, yeah, he did do it. So in hindsight, that's a right call. They did call the right thing. I would have been okay with it if they didn't call it. They were letting them play physical the whole game. They were doing it all game long. So why not let it go ahead and play itself out? But it would have been interesting if this went to overtime with the new overtime rules. I think Philly would have won this game if they went to overtime.
I think so too.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. But I thought Rihanna's halftime performance was decent. It was decent. It was entertainable.
She slipped too on the field. I don't know.
Yeah. But I took the Chiefs and they was victorious.
Yeah, I picked the Chiefs in this one. First thing was, and like Marcus said, I'm gonna touch on that in a minute about the Eagles defense. But this is the thing, and I was screaming this all year long. If y'all remember, you can go back and watch some of the shows. The Eagles only scored in the second quarter. That's their most dangerous quarter, and there's the stats are there to show it that they're like one of the highest scoring teams this year in the second quarter. Once you survive that second quarter, it's a fair game with them. Second half, they only scored 11 points. They scored 17 in the second quarter alone. They have been doing this all year long. And just like me and Brian were saying, their defense was overrated and wasn't as good as everybody thought it was. The Chiefs showed that. Not one sack on Patrick Mahomes. Now, Mahomes can move around in the pocket. I give you that. But they were the leaders in the sacks. They, like you said, they were like third highest ever in sacks.
They had 70 sacks this season.
And they didn't touch him. They didn't sack him once. And he was on a bum ankle. The only time that they touched him was when he scrambled and they tackled him way out of the pocket. So, I mean, you got to look at it realistically. The Eagles had a good season. I'll give them that they had a good season, whatever. But they had an easy season. they were never really truly tested. And I think that showed up in the Super Bowl. They had an easy run to the Super Bowl. They got the bye. Then they had to play the Giants. And then they had to play a quarterbackless 49ers. And they won them games easily. There was never any test to it. They didn't have to play true playoff football. They really just didn't. So Jalen Hurts, he had a good game. A couple of his passes, he just threw them up there. Receivers made it look good, you know. Brought the ball down. Yeah, you can play it. Play it.
You are a hater.
Hey, Herman, especially that one that got it on the sideline.
Yeah,
that was a good pass, man. That
was not a good pass.
Yeah,
How was not good? It wasn't in danger of being intercepted.
He
threw that right
The
up.
DB was right there.
Yeah.
The DB was in better position than Goddard was.
Then why he
And
didn't
then-
get it then?
Look, Goddard's a good tight end.
Yeah. And then as for the field conditions, you didn't see the Chiefs players falling all over the place like that.
Actually, you did. On one of the,
No, you
one
didn't,
of those,
because the Chiefs players they even talked about the fact that the Chiefs, this is how good their organization is and their equipment people are. They had all their cleats that they needed for that game. They were watching all the pregame stuff. This is part of what Andy Reid does. They watch the pregame stuff, and their equipment people were on top of that, you know. So they may have slipped a few times, but nowhere near as much as the Eagles did, because their equipment people was trash. Like they just couldn't figure it out, you know. Play it. I'm a what?
You are a hater.
Thank you. So I mean, you know, it was a good game. It was even better though in the second half when the Chiefs started coming back. Because then I was really happy. I ain't even gonna lie. I was loving it. Because I knew the tide had just turned. You could see it had turned. And I said this before the game too. I said that Hurts was not going to be able to, if it comes into a shootout, Hurts wouldn't be able to really keep up with the Chiefs if it was going to come down to him, you know, on him. And he tried his best. He had his 3 quarterback sneaks for a touchdown, but he only threw 1 touchdown. And the real quarterback on the field threw 3. So hats off to Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. I will turn it over to Brian now to have a little fun.
But you also got to give credit to the Eagles though. They were converting on them 3rd and longs and then 4th and shorts.
No, they didn't have a whole lot of 3rd and longs. They were converting on those 3rd and shorts.
On that one you just talked about the tight end, that was like 3rd and 14 or 3rd and 16.
Well, that one, that was just, and he just
Yeah, but for the most part, they kept doing the quarterback sneak on 3rd down because it was really short.
And you know what? I'm asked this real quick. We can discuss it after Brian goes, but and we can make it maybe a hot topic. Do y'all think the NFL may change that ruling on how these teams are pushing the quarterbacks now to get these first downs? But
definitely.
Let's talk about that after. So Brian, go ahead.
So I picked the Eagles, and I'm really set. No, I ain't picked no damn Eagles. You know, I picked them Chiefs. Them Chiefs. Man, I'll be honest. I was a little nervous. End of the half. Eagles went up by 10. Patrick Mahomes get hurt. He's limping. He's all in pain. They keep showing him on the sideline. I'm like, God damn. I got to listen to all these Eagles run their mouth. But, you know, God is good. the wicked. But, you know, the one thing that you guys haven't really touched on is the Chiefs actually outrushed Philadelphia. The Chiefs rushed for 158 yards on 26 plays. Philadelphia only rushed for 115 yards on 32 plays. Mark, you kind of, huh?
Because the only person rushing for them was Jalen.
Right, and Mark, you brought that up too. It was real curious why they wasn't using Miles Sanders as much in this game, and they were a little pass happy in this game, which was good for them in the first half. But in the second half, you know, once Mahomes got the ball and went right down the field and scored, then they put pressure on Philadelphia's offense to try to keep up. As for the field, hey, like Herman said, they showed Jalen Hurts change his shoe. They spotlighted it that he changed his cleats because of the way it was going on. So why the rest of the squad didn't do it, I have no idea. I mean, you know what's going on out there. If you slip once, go change your cleats. Put something in that's going to grip a little better. It's a pretty simple thing. That you chose not to do it in the Super Bowl, which is the biggest game in the life, is on you. I got to give it to Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy, man. They came up with an awesome offensive game plan in this game. And Marcus, you keep thinking that Hurts is this wonderful quarterback and stuff. You will see next year that whole offense was a gimmick. It's a gimmick offense. Defensive coordinators are going to. All he's really doing is reading one man. He's reading the defensive end. He's trying to see what he's going to do. He's either going to hand it to the running back or he's going to run it himself. If not, he's going to throw it to his first choice in the play.
He's not
reading the whole field.
Right? You know every team.
He's not reading the whole field. He's not staying in the pocket long enough. And you'll see this year when it comes up, especially without their offensive coordinator, what kind of offense that is, how defense is. I'm a big hater. I couldn't wait until I went on some Eagles meme joint. I was just finding new stuff. Hey, shout out to LJ for the extra memes, brother. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah.
Had a lot of Eagles fans, bringing up the old stuff. Oh, Dallas ain't been to the Super Bowl since then. Blah blah blah. Fact remains, we got 5. Y'all got 1.
And look,
y'all in the league long.
And the last one we went to, and the last one Dallas went to, we won it.
We won. Exactly. I've seen 2 of y'all Super Bowls and you lost. I've seen 3 out of 2 of y'all lost 2 of them. So, nonetheless, it was a good game. Like I said, they came out with a great game plan. You got to give it up to Big Red. His offense is really unstoppable. And Patrick Mahomes played phenomenal. The fact that you guys were saying that the Eagles defense was so good and made so many sacks and they couldn't get that dude on one bum leg, that's just crazy. But that's a contribution to the Chiefs coordinators and to Patrick Mahomes. You got to give it to him. When he took that 15-yard run near the end of the game, man, I'm like, what are you doing? You're going to get hurt again.
Right. I was like, get down.
He got down. Yeah, he got down. And he got the yards. And I don't know if he was playing possum the second half. And he was all right or what. And did y'all see that thing where they were trying to say that he had like PEDs in him? And they were going to try to take the Super Bowl away from the Chiefs?
Yeah, what?
They were saying it was a question about PEDs and what they gave him at halftime. They were going to take the Super Bowl away from the Chiefs.
At this time of year, probably every dude on that field had something in him.
But again, no, serious business, man. I was so worried. I was about to, have my little speech on, good win, Eagles, y'all was a better team and all that crap. But luckily, I ain't have to do that. Die, Eagles, die.
It's crazy though that the analysts disrespected the Chiefs as much as they did. I get that the Eagles.
Vegas did too.
I know, but I get that the Eagles had what looked like a good season, right? And it looked like a dominant season. But the Chiefs had way more better teams to have to deal with. And they had all year long, and they finished the season with the same record. And then the Chiefs had to take out probably one of the hottest teams,
Cincinnati
that had beat them that they hadn't beaten. You know what I mean? So, and you get to the Super Bowl and it was just like,
if the Eagles had beat the Niners with Purdy, the whole team did not. They may have been a better, but they weren't tested in that championship game.
And another thing too, we're giving Andy Reid all this credit. We need to give credit to Eric Bieniemy because Eric Bieniemy, the 2 touchdowns that they scored, in the second half,
wide open, nobody there.
That was Eric Bieniemy who called both of those. He took them plays from what happened in the Jaguars game that he saw how the Eagles overcompensated on that fake sweep, and that's how he tricked them and got wide open on both them plays. Not once, but twice.
Yeah, wide open, nobody there.
Yeah,
it was mad or something.
You got to give him mad credit for that. It looked so easy. It was ridiculous. Like Tanisha was like, "What in the world are the Eagles doing?" She was like, "That was like so easy." I was like, "Yeah."
And quiet as kept. Kansas City got a secret weapon in Tony. That man, if he can stay healthy,
I clown.
He's
my
gonna be a beast next year.
That wasn't the best midseason trade,
but that was a big time. That was a big time.
That was that kickoff return was huge.
Yeah, it was. So yeah, I did clown them for that one, but that was huge. But yeah, it was a good game. That's what you want in the Super Bowl, in all honesty. And like I said, just the topper was for us that the Eagles were the ones on the losing end of that. So that made it just outstanding. Play my music, Mark.
So was that one of the best Super Bowls y'all
You
saw?
are a hater.
Yeah, I think that was probably one of the best.
It's in my top 5.
Yeah,
It's
it's
top
up there.
5.
Yeah, I think so.
I think he go in the top 5.
I really wish we could get back to old school on them Super Bowl commercials, man. They just killing me.
Terrible, man.
They're just terrible.
Hey,
now.
but you know what? That was it. The Tubi one. That one was hilarious.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
it even made me reach for my remote at first, like what the? And I was like, oh wait a minute. I'm like, this is a commercial.
A lot of people didn't like it because of that fact.
Yeah.
They fooled them as well.
Yeah.
And I'm notorious for like sitting on the remote or bumping the remote and changing
exactly. So, all right. So that's our review of the game. Now we'll get into our hot topics, and you'll kind of understand why our hot topics are after the game, because we're going to start to talk about some hot topics kind of from the game. So I'm gonna throw out that first one, since I'm just gonna throw that one in there since we got some time. This whole quarterback sneak thing. Do you think the NFL will probably throw in some type of rule change on that? And do you think they should? So, do you think they will? Do you think they should? Mark, I'll let you start this one off.
I think they're gonna kind of tweak a little bit where you can't have as many players behind them pushing as they did, because I think they're gonna probably blame it on being on players' safety and so forth. But I think it will get tweaked by next year because of that. And it's been so effective, they got to find a way to stop it and slow it down. They have to.
So you think they should?
Yeah, I think they will. I think it will change. It probably won't be. You probably won't be allowed one man instead of 5 of them. I think they're gonna do something like that. But yes, I do think they'll tweak it.
Do you think they should?
He's frozen.
And he's gone.
There you go. You think they should change it?
What's that? But
Do you think they
should change it?
Yeah. Do you think it should get changed?
I don't think. I mean, if you got a good defense, you should be able to stop it.
But you can't.
I don't think it really matters if you got a good defense.
I don't know. I don't think it's stoppable. I think that they will change it because the NFL doesn't like to see. It's almost like a manipulation of the game,
right?
And we know the NFL does not like to see that, so they will change it. I think they will throw in something about player safety. I think they're going to eliminate. They may eliminate.
How they gonna throw some about players safety? Ain't nobody got hurt doing it.
It don't matter.
That's just their way of being able to change and tweak it.
I think they may remove the whole push the quarterback thing, period. I think they may not let you push the quarterback anymore at all. Not just one guy, but should they change it? I'm a little torn on whether they should or shouldn't change it. Like I said, because it's a clear manipulation of the game.
How's it manipulation of the game?
It just is, because I'll tell you why. Because your offensive line can get right up on the ball, right in there, right? And then the defense has to give you that, is it half yard the neutral zone is, I think, or the length of the football, I think the neutral zone is, that they're supposed to be back. So your defense is already at a disadvantage right there. So that's, I think, part of it is where it kind of manipulates the game. And then plus you have a player pushing another player forward to gain yardage. And I always thought that there was some type of weird rule about you couldn't do that before. I thought anyway.
I think that's in college. I don't think that's
you can't pull a player forward. I think like if you're down at the goal line and if I'm in the goal, I think I'm not allowed to pull a player forward. I think it is. So I just think that NFL is going to see it as a manipulation of the game. I think it probably should get changed because it's a disadvantage to the defense, in my opinion. It just seems like the offense has an advantage of the situation. So I think they should change it. Brian?
Yeah, I'm on the same lines as you, Herman. I mean, it's it makes the game boring. I mean, these 3rd and 1s were like really you knew Philly was going to get it every time because there just was no way for the Chiefs defense to try to stop that. Not just blaming on Philly because everybody's been doing it, but I think it should be, changed. Like Herman said, I think the quarterback, if he has the ball, it's his job to get the first down. If he hands it to the running back, the same thing. I don't think that you give the quarterback and then you mush him forward to get this first down good for the game. I mean, it makes it boring. Just like when we had extra points, they were up close. They were boring because everybody was making them. Now it's a little more excitement because they backed it up a little bit. So just for a competitive advantage, I think it would be more beneficial to, if you do a quarterback sneak, the quarterback has to get it by himself and can't nobody touch him to get in.
Oh, you got some kind of wind blowing your little.
Yeah, I know. I see it. Like, damn it.
It's a ghost.
Stupid wind. Marcus, what'd you think?
I somewhat disagree with you guys. I don't think they should, as is, I don't think they should change it. Here's where I can see they would change it. Is if teams really, so you guys talking about 3rd and 1. My thing is 3rd and 1, getting to 3rd and 1 is not always easy. Teams don't always do it. So let's not just act like, oh, it's going to be automatic. We're going to get 3rd and 2 or 3rd and 1 every time. You go lots of that. 3 and out is not always on 3rd and short. Okay, it's usually not. But here's where I think they would do it. If teams can figure out how to get at least 4 yards per play on that play, because then that's all you got to do is run 4 yards, 4 yards, 4 yards, first down, 4 yards, 4 yards, 4 yards.
What do you mean if they were sneaking it that way?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're saying sneak every down.
That would be crazy.
If you're consistently able to get like at least 4 yards, you keep running it until if they can't stop it. That's all you do. And you back to the old days of 4 yards in the dust type of game. And but other than that, I say keep it. I mean, like I said, because if we're talking about 3rd and 1, every 3rd down is not 3rd and 1. It's not. It's only effective right now if you're in 3rd and 1 or 3rd and 2, something really short.
Yeah, but what he's saying is most of the time 3rd and 1 now, that's what teams are running.
Well,
Teams they were hard. They weren't hardly doing it.
We pay these coaches millions of dollars each year. Come up with a scheme to stop it. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
That's what I'm saying.
Come up with a scheme to stop
it.
What you get paid all this money for? Come up with a scheme to stop it. But so I don't think they should. I don't think they will unless a team can consistently get like 4 yards a play on that. And also, if they were able to do that, it would look too much like rugby, and they probably would definitely ban it then because that's not the type of.
That's what it looks like now.
Yeah, that's not the type of NFL type of play the NFL wants. Now it's a quarterback-driven league, flashy RPOs, lots of passing. But I don't think they should, and unless a team figures out how to get 4 yards per carry, and then they wouldn't do it in the middle of the season. They have to do it at the end of the season because you can't just say in the middle of the season, "Oh, you got an advantage. You know how to get 4 yards per carry on this play. We're taking it away."
That's why they may change it. That's why they could change it before.
And we're talking about this because the season's over, tough guy.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to do it. I mean, who was doing it besides Philly? Who was doing it like that besides Philly?
Lots of teams. The Chicago Bears was doing it.
So why wasn't Deuce Staley his Chargers? He let it go on 4th down. How come he wasn't doing it?
Because his quarterback he's too delicate. I think Herbert may be a little too delicate.
That's a big dude.
He's a big dude, but I don't know.
He had bad ribs this season.
Yeah, that too. He did have bad ribs.
Because the only team I remember that was being that's the Eagles. They were the ones doing it all the
time. They were the most successful doing it.
Mm-hmm.
They were the most successful because they have one of the strongest. He's strong on legs. He has one of the strongest squats in the league.
Mahomes did it a couple of times this year.
Yeah, when he wasn't hurt, but he was hurt. What offensive coordinators need to do is they need to figure out how to line up like that, hike the ball, and come out of that mess for a deep pass. Because the whole defense is on the line at that point.
But so is everybody else.
That's when you go get smart.
You go with.
I'm saying you just got to get one guy out, quick guy out. If ain't no corners on the side he goes to, it's a wrap.
I just feel like that. You pay you pay all these defensive coordinators all this money. Come on with a scheme to stop it.
It's still a disadvantage though because of the neutral zone. I think that's where plays big, but we'll see. All right, let's move on to hot topic. And this is the question after the Super Bowl: are the Chiefs a dynasty? Brian, I'll let you start.
Don't let me start because my phone died.
Okay.
I got my phone back up.
Marcus, I'll let you start. Are the Chiefs a dynasty?
I want to say yes, because of this 5-year stretch that they've had since Patrick Mahomes has been a starter. They went to 5 consecutive AFC championships, all of them in Kansas City. They've won 3 Super Bowls, won 2 of them. He's had 2 MVPs and also 2 Super Bowl MVPs. And I think he's led the league in yards and touchdowns at least twice. I guess that would be because of the MVP. I guess that's why he got it. But I say they're on the verge. They're not there yet. For me, or to be a dynasty, you got to have a third. You got to have at least 3 with the core with Mahomes, Reed, and I would say with Kelsey too. I mean that's usually what it's always been. We usually didn't say it was a dynasty. Even in basketball, you usually don't call it a dynasty until they get 3. You know, the Bulls, the Warriors. Because no one calls the Miami Heat when LeBron James was there and Dwayne Wade there a dynasty, even though they went to 4 championships. They only won 2 of them. So, had they won that one against Tampa Bay, I would say yes. Will they be? I think most definitely, because Mahomes is young. Andy Reid isn't talking about retiring. It's a possibility. But unless you get the 3, I'm going to have to hold off on saying you're a dynasty. But they're very close. So, no, not a dynasty yet. I would say pre-dynasty, but not dynasty.
So before the dynasty?
Yeah, before the dynasty. Yeah. They're in pre-dynasty right now.
I agree with you on that one, because as soon as I saw the question, the first thing that came to my head was you have to have 3 in that short time period. They've been there 5 straight AFC championships. They've been there 3 times. They've won 2 Super Bowls. We never called Buffalo a dynasty, and they went.
They didn't win.
I know but that's my point. They went to the Super Bowl.
I mean, but Marcus, by your definition, they went 4 times. I mean, you put that in your definition of them, that they went to the championship game. Yeah. All these times. So,
but you gotta win,
right? And I agree with you. You have to win,
right? The thing was, you put that in the part of them being a dynasty. You said they've been to 4 AFC championships.
Yeah, AFC championships.
So you
added that into their repertoire, like that's enough to make them a dynasty.
Well, that's why there's even a question of it.
Yeah,
but that's why I said no, they're not, because they haven't won 3 Super Bowls yet.
Right, and I agree with that. And I'm just giving you the example of Buffalo went to 4 Super Bowls and didn't win 1, and we never even thought about calling them a dynasty, because you have to win at least 3 Super Bowls. I think that's just how it works pretty much in all championship, in all sports almost. You got to win at least 3 in a short time period, within 5 years, 4 years, whatever. So are they on the verge? Most definitely on the verge. I think 100%. But right now, no, they are not a dynasty. Like Marcus said, I agree. They're a pre-dynasty. Mark?
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you all. They on the verge of being it. To me, yeah, 3 or more will solidify you as being a dynasty. You look back at the 70s, you had the Steelers, they won 4. You look at the 80s, 49ers won 4. You look at the Cowboys in the 90s, they won 3. And then you look at the Patriots, they won more than 4, 5, 6 in the 2000s. So yes, you have to get 3 or more to be classified as a dynasty, to get that title. And I think they're right there. They're right there on the knocking on the door. But no, not a dynasty, not quite yet.
And Brian?
Yeah, Mark, you kind of stole some of my thunder. Because the NFL says that right now there was only 5 NFL dynasties in the Super Bowl era. The only one Mark didn't name was the Packers of the 60s.
Well, they didn't win 3.
Yeah. The Packers of the 60s?
Yeah, how many did they win? They won
technically,
2,
they won.
They won 2.
They won the one before they had a Super Bowl, though.
That's okay. That's
the year before they had a Super Bowl.
Got a Super Bowl.
They won that one.
I give you that.
They switched over. They won the next 2 years.
I give you that. You're right.
Yeah. So again, that you guys hit it on the head. 3 is the magic number to become a dynasty. Right now, you're at 2. You should have had the 3, but you let Tom Brady get another one. So no, you're not a dynasty. But like I said, it's close. But I will say this too: it's going to be harder and harder for Kansas City to get back, as stacked as the AFC is right now. It's going to be a tough road to hoe. So I don't know how logical that is with all the good quarterbacks in that league and that division. But yeah, they're right there. If they can get one more, then they're a dynasty.
So yeah, I have to push back on your last point, Brian. I mean, those same teams, those same quarterbacks was there this season, and everybody said that coming into the season. Everybody was hyping up Buffalo and Denver and San Francisco. I mean, not San Francisco, the Chargers, and they lost Tyreek and they won it. So
they did, but I'm just saying, it's still gonna be tough.
It's
it ain't
still
gonna
hard,
be easy.
yeah. It's still hard. I mean, I get what Brian's saying. I mean, every division, it just gets harder and harder every year. But right now, they're there. They're in that mix, and I think they'll be back. I just don't see them not getting back. I don't know if it's next year or year after that. I think they may repeat. Honestly, I think they could repeat.
Another thing to remember is all those teams that we just talked about, besides the Chiefs, a lot of them still got to pay their quarterbacks. And, once you start paying these quarterbacks these high salaries,
That's true.
start losing, you can't pay everybody else.
Yeah.
You got to look at the Chiefs. Mahomes took he pretty much gave KC the home discount. He spread his stuff out. And, so they got a lot of draft.
I mean, I don't know about a no discount. I mean, he's still one of the top 5 highest paid quarterbacks. So
no, but by the time Herbert gets paid, Burrow gets paid, Lamar gets paid,
he won't be.
He won't be. He'd be like he won't even be in the top 5.
He should. He'll probably be in the top 5. Well, once all of them get paid.
Yeah, his contract, from what I said, it like escalates depending on what the salary is for the quarterbacks of that year. It doesn't stay,
Yeah, he's getting a percentage or something like that.
Yeah.
And don't forget, Jalen has to get paid too. He won't be top 5.
Who?
Jalen has to
Who got to get paid?
Jalen.
No, he ain't get paid.
No,
They
gonna pay Fool's Gold.
Yeah, I hope they pay him. I hope they pay him like they pay y'all's old quarterback, Marcus.
Who?
The quarterback last year. Wentz, yeah.
That's just stupid. I don't know who pays
All right.
money.
Let's move on to the next.
The Eagles paid him.
They did. Let's move on to the next one. So, where can we rank Patrick Mahomes among all-time QBs, or is it too soon for that? Brian, your phone good? You want to start this?
Yeah, I'm definitely in the it's too soon category right now. The kid's too young right now to try to rank him with the greatest. Most time when you think about him, the majority of the ones that are the greatest are retired at this particular point in time. He has a lot more football to play, good, bad, or indifferent. If I had to put him on the list, he's definitely in my top 5. But he could absolutely be number 1 on this list if he keeps going at the echelon he is, at the minimum number 2. But right now, I think it's too soon.
Mark?
Too soon. He's building himself up to be there, but we need a couple more years of consistency and show that he's got to put in some more time with this. And then the other thing, I don't know about you all, but for me, for the greatest, man, you don't go to Super Bowls and lose them.
Brady went to 2 and lost. 3 lost.
Yeah.
Mahomes has only lost 1.
True. So, but he's won all of them.
So
he's won all the others. So
you have to you have to win the big ones when it counts. You have to.
He did. He has.
Well, he lost 1 too.
He lost 1
to the GOAT.
But it was bad.
That's what I'm saying.
It was bad loss.
He hasn't put in enough years yet. That's all I'm saying. He hasn't put in enough years yet. That's all.
Okay. My opinion on this one is a little different. Like, it's too soon to rank him. I agree with that. But he's already in the Hall of Fame. He's won 2 Super Bowls. He's won 2 MVPs of the league, and I think he was wasn't he Super Bowl MVP twice also?
Yeah.
He's already in the Hall of Fame. He took his team to five straight AFC championships. Now, how you rank him is just going to be a matter of how he finishes out his career. And I see y'all Brian turn his face up, but if Mahomes retires in 2 years, you telling me he's not a Hall of Famer?
No.
You're crazy.
I know, but I think you have to have longevity and also to be a Hall of Famer. I think the days of the Earl Campbells and
how many years has Mahomes been in the league?
6, starting
5,
5.
6 years.
6.
6.
Starting 5.
Aikman played 8.
And
He
Aikman
won
only
3.
played 8 years?
I believe so.
No, Aikman played more than 8.
No, because his year was his career was kind of cut
He
short.
played longer than Irvin.
No, Irvin was
He
in the
played
league
2 more
before
years
him.
after Michael Irvin.
Irvin was in the league 2 years before him, I believe.
Yeah, he played longer than Irvin.
I thought he only played 8 years because his career was cut short because all his what you call it?
Concussions.
Concussions.
Yeah. But Mahomes he's a Hall of Famer. He's got the numbers for a Hall of Fame. He already does. I'm trying to look up Aikman real quick. Go ahead, Marcus. So I think it's too soon to rank him, but I only say that because he still has a whole big body of work left.
Herman took some of my glory, but if Mahomes never plays another down again, he's a Hall of Famer. First ballot Hall of Famer. He's going in.
Aikman played 12 seasons, Herman.
12 seasons. Okay.
Yeah.
He's a first ballot Hall of Famer if he never plays another down again.
I 100% agree.
His first 5 years have been better than any other quarterback's first 5 years in the league.
In history.
In history. For me, it's Brady, Montana, and Mahomes. If Mahomes never plays another down again, he's number 3.
So you just disrespecting
I can't.
the fat dude on. What's your quarterback name, Mark?
Terry Bradshaw.
Terry Bradshaw. You just disrespecting him.
No.
What,
He has more than Mahomes.
okay, it's not about
Terry
more,
was
but
good. Hold on. Let me just say this. Terry was good, but everybody around him made Terry better for sure.
Yeah, the defense won a lot of y'all championships.
The
Terry
Steelers
was
had in
good.
the 70s. The Steelers had 10 Hall of Famers on that doggone team.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
10 Hall of Famers.
Hard to screw that up.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, he took the team and won the championship that the black guy couldn't do. So
So you mean to tell me, Ali, that if you had the draft, you picked 1970s Terry Bradshaw over now Patrick Mahomes?
in 1970s, yeah, I'd take Bradshaw, but now, not now. I'm just saying you got to give that man his respect too. Regardless of how you feel about him, you won 4 of them. You don't win 4 Super Bowls by mistake.
Well, I agree with you, but we're talking. But I gotta go with the eye test and Patrick Mahomes.
And it's a totally different game that Terry Bradshaw played than we're playing now.
It doesn't matter.
You had to be a whole lot tougher quarterback. I'll guarantee you right now, Mahomes did not play in Bradshaw's era. I guarantee that.
Who and when anybody else had this conversation, when is Terry Bradshaw's name ever in that conversation?
It should be.
Yes, he's. You a lie. You a lie.
What the hell did Mark do to Brian?
You a lie.
I'm actually just being a devil's advocate in this one, but
he got some blackmail. You got some blackmail.
Hey, look, this came back from the conversation with Vince when he was trying to say Joe Montana was his best quarterback. Yeah, I had to throw Terry Bradshaw in there.
But yeah, I say he's number 3 all time right now. And if he never plays another down, he's Hall of Fame. First ballot Hall of Fame.
I agree. He's definitely a first ballot Hall of Famer. I don't know if he gets top 3 if he never plays another down though. But he will be top 5 when his career is over. And hell, nobody ever thought that Tom Brady was going to get 7. So I ain't gonna count.
I'm not gonna say that. No. I don't see 7.
That's all I'm gonna say. Nobody thought that Brady was ever going to get 7 either, I don't think. Mahomes is only 27, and he's got 2 already. He plays till he's 40-something. He's got a lot of years left to get. He's got 13 more years to get 5 more Super Bowls.
Mahomes ain't playing the 45. That's a Tom Brady thing. Ain't nobody.
You just don't know. All right, let's move. Huh?
Brady wasn't doing that running around like that. Brady wasn't doing that running around like that.
But Mahomes ain't taking a lot of hits.
He's getting hurt a lot
for his running. But his ankle. That's All right, let's move on to the next one. It's a dumb question because I don't.
We probably moved.
I'm not gonna say it's a dumb question, but no, I'm gonna skip it because we should talk about it because after the Super Bowl, they was giving more props to Jalen Hurts than they were to Patrick Mahomes. So I get why this question's come up. Did Jalen Hurts outplay Mahomes in the Super Bowl? Mark, did he outplay?
And stat-wise, yes. Stat-wise, he did. But I think it was. I mean, I think it was a great duel between two good quarterbacks. He did what he's supposed to do. He got the touchdowns when he needed them. He made up for that fumble that he caused. I'm not gonna necessarily say outplayed him. I'm not gonna necessarily say that. It was a good duel between both young quarterbacks. It really
That's not the question. You're going to either have to say that or say that Mahomes. You got to pick a side.
So no, I'm not gonna say he outplayed him. No.
All right.
So you saying Mahomes outplayed him?
No, I don't think
No. You can't ride the fence on this one, sir. You pick one or the other.
Right. Did Jalen outplay Mahomes?
I don't think Jalen outplayed Mahomes. No.
Then you're saying Mahomes outplayed Jalen.
Yes. Then okay. I'm saying I'm giving him Mahomes. Then yes.
All right.
Okay.
So I do not. Jalen Hurts did not outplay Mahomes, and Mark said statistically he did, but technically he didn't, because we're gonna look at quarterback numbers. All right. Patrick Mahomes.
You're taking away the Russians.
That is not fair. That's not fair.
It is.
It's not fair.
It is fair.
It's not fair.
What? Time out. What is Jalen Hurts' position? What is his position? Okay, but what's his position? Okay, so whatever he did as a quarterback, you got to give him those stats.
This is my turn.
You can't just say quarterback, okay? If he ran the ball as a quarterback, that still counts.
Listen. First of all, he did not have 3 rushing touchdowns. He had 3 quarterback sneaks for a touchdown. Right? Patrick Mahomes.
How did he get in the end zone on these quarterback sneaks?
Listen.
He floated, Brian. He floated.
Patrick Mahomes.
He snuck it. He snuck it.
He was pushed in. Patrick Mahomes was 21 for 27. He had 6 incompletions for 182 yards. He had a QBR of 96.4 and a passer rating of 131.8. Jalen Hurts was 27 for 38, so he had 11 incompletions.
How many yards?
308 yards. He was sacked twice. Patrick Mahomes was not sacked.
He really wasn't sacked twice. He ran out of bounds on one.
He was sacked twice.
Behind the line of scrimmage.
Mahomes
They didn't even touch him on that play.
Can I finish?
Yes.
Hurts has had a QBR of 79.7 and a passer rating of 103.4. Mahomes and Jalen Hurts had a fumble that led to a touchdown. Jalen Hurts did not outplay Patrick Mahomes. Plus, stats don't mean when you lose the game, because that's all they scream every year and all year about Dak. So don't talk to me about no damn stats that Jalen Hurts has, because he lost the Super Bowl. Now, Brian.
The stats are the stats. Again, you talking about quarterback stats. Hurts threw for 300 yards. Mahomes only threw for 182.
And 3 touchdowns.
Now, if you had thought about,
And 3 touchdowns with that 182.
Right, but if you had looked at those statistics blindly, who's do you think would have been the other way around? You know you would have thought it would have been the other way around.
Whoever
you thought Mahomes would have thrown for 300 some yards. Huh? We're not talking about the total game. We're talking about a specific question. Did Hurts outplay Mahomes?
So why do
the fact of the matter is he absolutely outplayed Mahomes.
He
outplayed Mahomes.
The game.
Herman, his first drive, he walked down the field and scored. Okay? He had them up by 10 at the half. If it wasn't for his sorry defense, they would have beat the Kansas City Chiefs. But the defense couldn't stop them.
If that's the case,
Mahomes did not play a great. How come I can't speak? Now you want to interrupt me?
Because you were interrupting me. But you said, look, they were up by 10, right? So if Jalen Hurts had just kept scoring, it wouldn't have mattered what the defense did. But Jalen Hurts didn't keep scoring.
But he did keep scoring, because he not only did he keep scoring, he caught them. They took the lead. He caught it, and they tied the game. Did they do a 2-point conversion to tie the game?
Yes.
They did.
Which he scored.
So they did a 2-point to tie the game, and he scored that too. He went above and beyond.
He didn't score in the third.
He truly was the MVP, except that they didn't win. But if they had won, Jalen Hurts would have got that MVP.
Oh, he would have got it. He would have
He
got
didn't
it.
score in the third.
Huh? He scored in the fourth.
He didn't score in the third. He only scored once in the fourth. But Patrick Mahomes.
But the thing is, though, didn't they have like a 10 or 12-minute drive in the second half to eat up most of the clock?
But what did that do for them?
And then they stopped them and got the ball back and got back in field goal position to go up by 10 at the half. Jalen Hurts played the game that he needed to play to win the game. The defense did not play up to their par. That's why the Eagles lost. And you know how much I hate to give Jalen Hurts credit, but he played a good game, Herman.
All right, Marcus, real quick, because we run out of time. Now we got to almost 9 o'clock.
Jalen Hurts absolutely outplayed Mahomes in that game for every reason Brian just said.
You're crazy.
He put that whole team in his back. And if it wasn't for that fumble, they would have won that game.
So
they would have won that game.
He led to
he lost by 3 and spotted him 7.
He led to the one turnover that lost him the game.
and you know how much I love Patrick Mahomes. To be honest with you, even though the Eagles lost the game, I felt like Jalen Hurts should have got MVP anyway.
You're crazy.
I think he should have got MVP.
Valuable fumbler.
He came. He showed out. He put all the talk to the rest except for this one dude up here. That's a hater.
You are a hater.
It's most valuable player, not most valuable player that lost the Super Bowl. Okay,
he was the most valuable. He was the most valuable player because he is the only reason the Eagles were even in that game at all. All. I know what you say about the stats, but the eye test tell me that.
And statistically, he was better except for the fumble.
Yeah, except for the fumble, and they would have won that game over that fumble.
The eye test tells me that when your team has the more points at the end of the game, your quarterback played a better game and he won the game.
That's not always true.
You play to win the game. All right,
and make no mistake, if that game went to overtime, Eagles probably would have won that game.
Real quick, we're gonna do the last topic. Don't give a whole lot of explanation, but with the season that the Eagles surprised everyone with and turned it around, what team can you expect the same kind of turnaround from next season? Just give me the team. You ain't gotta tell me why. Just give me the team. Mark, go.
Jets. Jets. The Jets.
Marcus.
The Lions. Detroit Lions.
Brian.
Mark stole my thunder, Jets.
I'm
must be
going
Jets with Aaron Rodgers on it.
Broncos.
You going Broncos country? Let's ride.
That's right.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Sean Payton. I'm going Broncos.
Okay.
Matter of fact, I take it back. Jaguars.
They
made the playoffs.
Fool. They won their division.
They're gonna win the Super Bowl. They're going to Super Bowl next year.
Yeah, you can have that. All right. Final thoughts, real quick. Brian.
Just sad that the season is over and we won't see you guys every week. But trying to get excited for this USFL stuff, so pray for us.
You know the XFL actually starts Saturday.
Yeah,
you know that?
XFL.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
XFL. Eh?
Yeah, I'm gonna piggyback off of that one. Great season, fellas. Thank everybody that joined us and that watched us, later on and came back and checked us out and participated. Sad to see the season end, but always looking forward to the next season and the draft, of course.
And our draft, yeah.
See you in KC for some barbecue.
Yes, sir. Mark.
Hey, man. I mean, it's been a great season with y'all, man. I appreciate it. I love each and every one of you. Even you too, Fifth Beatle, Maury. It's been fantastic. I'm looking forward to the draft in Kansas City. Let's get it done.
And Marcus, take us home.
Yeah, I ain't got much to say. Just looking forward to Kansas City. Should be a lot of fun. Season's in. Can't wait till next year. But saying that, before we get out of here, I want to encourage everyone to like, share, and subscribe, especially watching on YouTube. You can catch us on Facebook and our Facebook group, The Leg Game. We're on Twitter at The Leg Game 3 and on Instagram at The Official Delay of Game. We will see you, I don't know when, same bat time, same bat channel. Peace.
See you at the draft.
Peace.
Might be on before then. Who knows?